I compose the gardens from my vision. If I sit on the back patio, I look at everything, and then I might sit there having my coffee and say, I'm going to do this or that in the garden. And so my visually composition. The garden is really healing for me. It's like having pets and animals. It's something, it's a living thing that has to be taken care of. So even if in some very dark times in my life, I've had friends who passed and brothers who passed, and the garden is my sanctuary for sure, because you can't just walk away from it, you must tend it. It's never finished. There's always something to cleaning up or adding things or moving things around and trimming things. So I like the fact that it's always calling for me to work. Plants for me are my palette. I'm an artist, and so horticulture is not only an art, it's a visual art, but it's also a horticulture art or science, and it's a combination of the two to get everything looking right. Couldn't wait for spring to happen, and this is that picture of me looking at my strawberry plants, seeing that there are little flower buds coming out. I just couldn't wait for it to happen fast enough. And every day, the first thing I would do is get out and look at the window and see, are the trees budding out? So I really connected with nature. My earliest memories, as my parents would garden the backyard, my mom would give us a little area. She'd say, this is going to be yours. You're going to plant the carrots and the radishes and another one. And so very early on, 3 and 4 years old, I already had a little patch. I remember running to my father with the first radish, and he just cleaned it off with his hand, bit it, and so just to reward me and to let him know how proud he was of me growing in radish. I actually won an art scholarship to Rutgers University, but I transferred into horticulture, and the professors asked, what are you in this class for? And I said, horticulture is my life. I became director of horticulture at Flamingo Gardens, and I actually began the membership there and newsletter. I gave classes, I wrote for the bulletin, and I began the botanical garden there at Flamingo. They didn't have a membership, and by the time I was done, they had like 600 members to that garden. I arranged it to be noted in the world because I identified champion trees, and we housed a collection there, a botanical collection of heliconia, bananas, and gingers, and that makes it go from a display garden to a botanical garden. Now it is housing, it's a living museum. From there, though, it got very top-heavy at Flamingo Gardens, and I had a lot of pressure. So I decided I would work on making my own gardens in my own way, and went into business for myself. And I asked the realtor to show me around. The realtor came back, she said, oh, I found the perfect place for you. And it was this place here. And I said, well, I don't think I can, so I'm still paying off my mortgage and have a lot of bills and not very much money in the bank. She wouldn't leave me alone until I said, all right, I'll just go look at it. And an hour later, I had a contract trading the equity in one property for the equity in this property, and I was able to manage the financing. But for the first year, I was paying $3,000 mortgage on that place and a $4,000 a month mortgage on this place, $7,000 out the window just to begin with, not even setting up a nursery or anything. So it was quite a struggle. I remember eating bean soup a lot, just bean and ham bone soup. I quite easily could become a recluse here. I know that I am an eccentric, and I'm happy to be an eccentric. I can do with my life exactly what I want to do with my life, and it's very pleasing. I wrote my epitaph. It says, look at me all my life, I've grown plants. Look at me now, I'm potash, I'll be cremated. And you can sprinkle me in the garden, I'll turn over a new leaf, if that's not too corny to hear. I intend to finish my days here. I have flipped many houses to get to this property, and this is the final one for me. I hope, actually, that someday in the future, not too near, that I just fall over in the garden and it'll be the end of me.